Hey Jack Cooper team, we hope you have enjoyed the first Jack Cooper University series. We look forward to covering our next topic of conflict resolution. But first, we wanted to take a second and sit down with our CEO Mike Riggs and get his perspective on Kevin McHugh's leadership series. After the video, we have a couple of questions for you to cover with your team. Now let's see what Mike has to say.
All of us like to believe that we can be a leader, we can be a manager, we can be a boss. From the time we're little kids, in Corey League, you want to be captain of the team. If you're in a group, you want to be the chairman of the committee. But Kevin did an exceptional job at pointing out that being a manager is not the same as being a leader. A manager has a specific set of measurements, maybe metrics. They have a way to quantify what you're doing, and it's the process related to getting things done. It might be a budget, it might be a plan, it might be a management at a glance metric system, but there's a process side to being a manager, and I thought he was very articulate in separating out that's a completely different skill set than being a leader. A leader is someone that creates a vision. A leader is someone that cares. A leader is someone that's genuine. A leader is someone that sets the vision. And I thought he even used the word a leader is somebody that tries to inspire. And you can inspire and be a manager, and that's the grand slam home run. You're the best of both worlds. But too many people believe that as long as they get the assignments done, or they get the process filled out, or they get the paperwork filled out, or they hit the metrics, they're a good leader. And they're two different, completely independent concepts. There is a process and there's a management side that leaders have to be good at to be good leaders. But there is a completely almost personality and vision side that has to be there for you to be inspiring, to use Kevin's words, and really set the course and make people want to follow you. I still think the best definition I ever heard of a leader was when I was in high school. One of the teachers, of all things, I think it was like a history teacher, he said the best definition of a leader is you got to have followers. If you're yelling charge and heading up the hill, you don't want to have to be peeking over your shoulder to see if they're following you. A good leader automatically knows that he's an inspirational figure, he's a visionary, and he cares about his people, and they know he cares about them. And yes, he has to manage processes and numbers too, but a good leader can count that when he says charge and head up that hill, that team is following behind him. And that only comes when you can look at both sets of skills differently. And I urge everybody to take some time and go through that segment with Kevin, because it was one of the more instructive and helpful step-by-step how you can become both a great manager and a great leader. Just an exceptional piece that he did there. I think the segment on positive and negative feedback was the most impactful. I think the way Kevin described it, none of us really enjoy or appreciate getting negative or constructive feedback, but it really is the only way to grow. But there are ways, and I think that's what Kevin did a great job of, there are ways that you can have both positive and negative feedback, and more importantly, there are specific skill sets you can learn about how to do that better, which is the whole purpose of Jack Cooper University, to give our managers and leaders the tools to be better executives. And I thought the idea of feedback, which most people don't even really want to talk about because it usually implies annual appraisals, Kevin, I thought, was funny the way he put it. When someone tells me that I'm about to get some constructive feedback, I immediately know I'm going to get some negative thrown at me. And that was my impression too. And there's typically two ways people deal with it. They just don't give the feedback at all and avoid the confrontation, or they do it in such an uncaring and brutal way that it actually has a negative impact on the recipient. What was particularly useful in the training, I thought, was learning the skills of how you can present negative, present positive, put a balance to it, and actually come out not only as a leader better, but for the person that you're giving the feedback to, they actually view it as just a way to improve. And I thought that was the highlight of the series for me. I thought the way he used the honesty and integrity and sincerity as a way to be a more effective leader, a better communicator, was just outstanding. People generally, no matter what they tell you, don't appreciate or like negative feedback. And on the other hand, if you give false praise, you not only encourage the wrong behavior, but you come across as somebody that's not genuine and you get discounted altogether. Finding that balance of how you can give both negative and positive feedback, but viewed as it's meant to be helpful, only comes when the recipient and the person across the table from you believes that you're honest and sincere and genuine. If you build that kind of reputation and that kind of relationship where they think you have integrity, they think you care, they think you're sincere, and most importantly that you're just being honest in a way that's going to be helpful to them, whether the feedback is slightly or badly negative or slightly or super positive, it's much more effective because you have this confidence that the source that's giving you this feedback or this counsel or this guidance is really genuinely just trying to be honest and thorough and helpful. And there's no chance any of that's going to be viewed as helpful or constructive if you don't believe the person talking to you has integrity and is an honest and genuine person. So it was a good reminder to me. It's one of our core values in Jack Cooper, integrity. And it was nice the way Kevin weaved it into how you can also be a more effective leader by having that kind of reputation.